WNST, Tassa Baltimore and Baltimore Positive. It is such an incredible week for sports radio around here. Odell Beckham, the Orioles, the Masters. We had the CFG Bank Arena open over the weekend with Earth, Wind, and Fire and Bruce Springsteen and the Eagles. And we're going to be up at Pappas, and I know my guest is going to appreciate that there is a new Pappas up in Harford County in Bel Air that he can take clients to. We're going to be there on Tuesday in the bar doing the Maryland Crab Cake Tour. It is all brought to you by our friends at the Maryland Lottery. I have some instant lottery scratch-offs to give away. Had a $40 winner at Fadley's on Friday. Had a $20 winner at Costas on Tuesday or Wednesday. They brought the whole fire department. Now, John Martin, everybody was at Costas. We were at Fadley's. Now we're moving to Pappas. I mean, what is a crab cake tour without the three of them and without going up to Harford County? We're giving these away. Also, our friends at Window Nation, 866-90 Nation. I don't have the floppy hat on. I made Gigi wear it the other day over Costas. Buy two, get two free, 5 years, 0% financing. Haley and the guys really got it going on. So I want to let everybody know about that. Leonard Raskin's going to be joining us. He's got some plans this weekend, and the boy in Ohio State. It's like football every day at Columbus, Ohio, where you're in Doc. It's like football every day on Steve Bisciotti's boat, apparently.
There you go,
dude. I have this crab mallet that you gifted me that has the very, very special beer bottle opening, and there's a problem with this crab mallet. Had it all winter. Do you see a problem with said crab mallet other than it's perfect?
I don't see a problem. What's the problem?
It hasn't been used.
There you go.
So at some point,
cracked the good crustaceans yet.
I thought when I went to Costas the other day, I brought it with me. I thought I was going to eat crabs. I wound up doing yoga. It was a long day. It was opening day and this and that and moving this and moving that.
Bad weather on a great weather day.
It's been a crazy couple days, Len. Let me just say this. They opened an arena, honest to God, and it's different. It's a lot different, and I can go into a million ways it's different. We reopened the stadium. It was full and vibrant downtown, and then this trade happens with the Ravens. We all watched the Masters. We had Easter. We had Passover. We had, what a week it's been around here, huh?
And Steve Bisciotti's put out was it a tweet? Said, now that we got OBJ, I guess that'll make Lamar happier, and maybe he'll sign. Something like that.
I don't think that's a tweet. I don't think it was a tweet.
Whatever it was. I don't know what it was. Whatever.
What do you make of this as a fan? You're a guy that buys expensive tickets and sits in the club level.
I think that's kind of amazing. I think up till now we've had a quarterback with, quote unquote, according to them, nobody to throw to, although his receivers weren't happy about that. Now we got a couple new receivers to help out the young kids and grow them up, I guess. And one who is, if he's healthy, quite the talent. And from what everybody says, whoever they are, they say he's great in the locker room. They say he's a great teammate. They say that he's obviously a big persona. So therefore, he gets himself his clicks and ticks. But look, if the guy can play, which if his knee's good, hopefully he can play. Now we just need the quarterback to throw to him. Does this mean they're going to sign him longer term? I don't know. Does this mean they're going to just play out the franchise tag this year and keep going? And will he play for that? I don't know. But it certainly is interesting that OBJ announced his signing with his son in a Lamar jersey on his Instagram, which I'm not a member of the Instagram. So
somehow you saw it still.
I saw it on the Facebook. It was on the Facebook. And on ESPN over and over and over again, breaking news. And I think it was kind of astonishing. And then there was the screenshot, I don't know who put it out, of Lamar and OBJ FaceTiming. So somebody popped that out there. One of the two of them put it out there. And Lamar had the big shield Raven medallion on his neck, around his neck. So it wasn't the trade me medallion.
How crazy is it? There's an Instagram. You're not even on Instagram. It's on Facebook. And you're sitting here trying to dissect what's going through the mind of a 25-year-old kid
Impossible.
who's got $30 million, that if you knew this kid and you managed his money, you would, I mean.
I saw an amazing thing. I don't know if you caught this last week during all the craziness. This was really interesting. It said, and I don't know who said it, it said Lamar doesn't need a fully guaranteed contract. He just wants at least as much guaranteed as what's his face over there?
Deshaun Watson.
Deshaun Watson got in Cleveland. In other words, you can give me $300 million as long as $250 of it's guaranteed. I don't need $250 with 100% guaranteed. So he's now trying to reset the world to just give me a bigger contract.
Give me 7 years, even though you don't believe in me in year 4.
Right. Give me 7 years for $500 million and guarantee 251 of it, and I'm yours. So who cares? Let's
you know
make
what?
him the
I had
offer
one of
and let's
Flacco's
go.
guys come on my LinkedIn the other day. One of Flacco's old financial managers, quite frankly, who I'm friends with, and he just clarified. He's like, everybody's mad at Joe for getting the money and not winning again. Joe had won 11 playoff games,
Damn
or
right.
like ridiculous.
Paid a man.
Had been in 3 championship games and had won a Super Bowl and had thrown the pass to get him to
Paid a
another.
man.
And then he got paid. He did
Right.
all that. There was a parade.
Right.
And then he got paid.
$110 million, and that was the end of the world. The end of the world. Well, you know, let's face it, they all get paid at some point, and it's just a question of who's going to pay them. But looks like the Ravens are the only one that might pay Lamar because nobody else is stepping up.
Well, this is actually, they come back and say, we love you more than anyone else, and we've proven it time and time again.
Right.
We've offered you all this money. Look at the shiny object we got you. We got your wide receiver now.
Right.
We're
right.
doing what we need to do to win because that's who we are.
And now
you want
it's
to win, you'll want to play here.
Yep. And I say
for
pay
$32 million, by the way. So we're back to that.
Well,
and he
right,
calls
for
his
32.
financial guy, and Leonard says, "What? You're not playing for 32, dog. You know, you're not going to practice. You're not even going to meet Todd Monken. You're not meeting Todd Monken till you get $232 million, dog.
Guaranteed. Guaranteed. We'll take 235 guaranteed on a $300 million contract.
Well, I mean, listen, Dennis and I went at this all last summer, and I didn't beat you up too much about it, and I didn't even pin you down on it. But, like, would you have advised him to play for $20 million last year if he were your client? Or would you tell him, don't even walk out on the field for $20 million? Now, that's a weird thing to say to anybody because none of your clients are making $20 million a year. And
but
if you were, you tell them to stay employed.
last year, I'd have had him play because it was under contract, and that's the way it goes. Now, this year, we got the whole tag thing. And he's got to sign the tag and go on from there. Now we're talking positioning. And it might be interesting that at the end of this negotiation, he ends up getting a lot of what he wants. They end up getting a lot of what they want, which is him at quarterback. And somehow they'll come back and hug each other, and he'll play quarterback here. It'll be very interesting to see what the heck they do without him. Especially now that they've got the Rocket OBJ at the WR1, wide receiver 1, and then we got wide receiver 3, I guess, Bateman, who's going to be upset that he's not 1. I don't know.
What's going to be fascinating, and this is where I'm going to start to urinate upon the segment a little bit, because we can talk all sorts of things, but
nobody knows.
I haven't had you on in a week. I haven't had you on in a week.
Go ahead.
So I'm not going to let Chad Steele stop a press conference on Wednesday and not make that a story, because it is a story. So we're going to have Lamar sign, and then we're going to have Lamar and John come back and sit on a dais and
hug each other, kiss each other, love each other.
And what are the reporters not allowed to ask about?
Anything.
Are we allowed to ask John?
Nothing.
How did you feel that day in front of everybody when Lamar put this out that he wanted to be traded?
Next question.
Right, exactly. I mean, we've entered a place where accountability.
Look, this is the world. This is the world. Look, this is the world we live in. I hate to say it, and I can slam you a bit here on this, but let's not kid ourselves. Your man Joe Biden comes to the lectern with a list of pre-approved people to call on with pre-known questions that he studied the answers for because he can't answer on the fly a darn thing. And I'm not saying that he was a great person, but Donald Trump stood up there hours on end
in front of you. But we go back and forth.
He answered lots of questions. You call it what you want. He's answered lots of questions about lots of things for a long time, and didn't care who was asking him and took them from everybody.
And
just
that's
the
fine.
point.
Then there's the fact checking part of whether
Well, you can fact check them both.
You can put bleach in your veins during a play.
Well,
Like
that
we can
was a
go
little
back and
silly.
forth. At
That
the
was
end
a
of the
little
day,
silly.
the
But the point is, the
should
Ravens
be,
are just going to say next question. Next
the
question.
expectation should be accountability and integrity.
Yes.
Not just from the president down, but at Raskin Global, I know you pitch that. At Pappas, they pitch that. Anywhere that I have someone, I pitch
we're out
that.
of business. We lose that, we're out of business.
Well,
That's like, for us,
yeah.
that's just like, and I think for any business that is in the business of, communications and reputation, that should be table stakes. That should just be a requirement. It shouldn't even be a one-off. The fact that at the Liars Lunch, they started with, you can't ask questions about Lamar. Let's see. We're a football team without a quarterback, and you can't ask any questions about our quarterback.
Look, Luke and I got into this, and apparently it was uncomfortable for people in the audience because I got enraged, because I thought to myself, what would have happened if I were there?
Yeah.
Would it have looked like Animal House, where I would have stood up and said, hold on, you're all not going to sit here and take this, right?
Right.
Like, are you kidding me?
Right.
I mean, are you? So answer me this question. As a journalist, I have one question before the assassination here.
Right.
What happens if I keep asking then?
Then they throw you out.
Oh,
they have you removed. They
so,
have you physically removed with security.
Like the Chinese leader was in Parliament that day, right?
Yes.
So that's what happens. That's where we are.
Well, what do you think?
That we're in here. What happens if we keep asking about Lamar?
Look, the problem is nobody did it.
The problem is I was already thrown out, and they all know that. And they all know that they're
who
next.
Was in there? Right. Well, guess what? If everybody starts asking, at some point the serfs need to realize there's more of them than the leader. And the serfs need to step up and revolt. But the serfs have to have some stones.
To all of them. It really is.
The serf needs to have some stones to say that's not acceptable to me. That doesn't work. And so when they say you can't ask, you just got to keep asking. I remember back in the day, I don't know if it was, I guess it was Carter and Reagan. Remember Sam Donaldson?
Yeah.
ABC. Dude used to ask everything, scream at everybody, on top of everything. He didn't care. They throw him out. He didn't care. He came back. He asked more questions. You got to keep asking. You have to keep asking questions to power.
By the way, I got denied Oriole credentials this weekend. They allow Luke, but not me, like the Ravens. So
what's that about? What is going on there? Doesn't make any sense, right? Doesn't make any sense. That's just stupid. But they don't care, and I guess they don't care that they don't care.
They don't care. They don't care.
Yeah, it's
They're in the business of winning football games, and it's just come a long way for me as a community guy, and you've been listening to me for a long time. I was on the air for 5-6 years before we had a football team.
Right.
So I sat here and begged and groveled, and one day we'll get back in the league, and then they're going to have press conferences where you can't ask about the quarterback
who's not around. It's not like he just had a hiccup and you want to ask about his hiccup.
Answer it any way you want, but don't tell me I can't ask the question.
And even if you do, then take the darn question. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's totally ridiculous.
It really was an embarrassment.
And I wasn't there and I didn't watch it, but did nobody ask?
No, everybody was silenced because I've been shot in the head.
But I'm saying everybody listened to them and said, okay, we won't ask.
That's correct. They have a very obedient media out there.
That's right. So meanwhile, John Harbaugh is bleeding from the head. And nobody can ask what the blood is.
That's what I said, man. Don't ask about the purple elephant in the room.
It's ridiculous.
I said it's like having the guy running Ukraine on and asking him about the color of the curtains. There's a war going on, right?
Yeah.
So let's just get to that. And again, I played this out last week. Leonard Raskin is here. I'm not going to belabor it because we have OBJ now. We have OBJ. Yes. We have the new arena. By the way, the new arena.
What'd you think? What'd you think?
It's a mixed bag for me because I've been going for 50 years. I know they want me to just say it's this and it's that. It's clearly a greatly upgraded facility. Let me
Yeah.
just start with that.
Yeah.
Like, it is a better place to go, but it's a different place than before, and some of the limitations are built into it. I mean, the
Right.
club level's beautiful and this and that. The foyers are a little more crampy. All of the food's in the middle concourse now, not the lower
Right.
concourse.
Right.
So they've if you're used to it, but if you've never walked in the building before and you said they retrofitted a 60-year-old building to make it much, much better and give it
Yeah.
another 20 years of life, they've
Right.
done that.
How was
But
the sound?
it's really dark. You know what I
How
mean? It's a
I
really
that's
dark
yes, I
building.
know.
It's
Yeah.
really dark.
Well, because it's
And
made for concerts.
I think it's made for theater. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
made
And
for
they would
concerts.
say that, and they would say, you don't want the lights on in here. You know what I
That's
mean?
right.
Where we are. But it is a really big, dark theater now.
Yeah.
And I
How was the
mean,
sound?
beautiful. I mean,
Well,
they
that's what
fixed
matters,
that. They
right? That's
fixed
what
that.
matters is
They
the
fixed
sound.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the
And
lines to the bathroom and getting the beer, they have the open. It's like a Royal Farms where you just go in and grab your beer and check out. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
everything happened fast as opposed to the upper deck at Oriole Park where it's not built that way and they didn't have humans to open beer on opening day and people the Banner wrote a story about it, right? People
Yeah.
upset in the upper deck. This was more about ingress, egress, getting people in, security. And then once you got in, Leonard, all of the wide open concourses are gone. It's a little bit like a hamster trail. And you know what's like that? Madison Square Garden's a little like
Yep.
that.
Yep.
It's a little crampy like that in the way that they've remodeled a 80-year-old building,
But they
right?
opened it up hot. They opened it up hot, that's for sure.
It's lovely. I want to encourage everybody to go downtown. I want you to see it for yourself. If you remember the old building, it's not the old building, but there's remnants. But we loved it. I mean, I can pick on this or that or whatever, but we loved it. And we can't
It's
wait to go
great.
back, you know?
It's great. There you go. And the pot bank is happy.
Absolutely. Everybody's happy. Everybody's happy at this point. CFG Bank's happy.
That's
M&T
what I
Bank,
said. The pot
they got
bank.
their names. Well, I mean, we'll talk to Bill about that later on too.
It's a brilliant strategy. It's done, served them very well.
Well,
CFG served them very
tell
well.
me about your strategy here because it's like April 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th. It's a big week. It's a
Big
week
week. It's
that
extension
makes
week.
people sweat, even if they don't do
Extension. It's extension week. It was Masters weekend. Masters weekend was wonderful. It was a great tournament if you watched any. The weather was terrible for a couple of days, but of course, when everybody watches Sunday afternoon, it was beautiful, sunny, magnificent. And John Rahm, fourth Spaniard to win, took the Masters. And that's what it's about, man. There were people down there having a ball watching him play. At the end of the tournament, I guess it's a tournament, golf tournament. Yeah. At the end of the weekend, he won, and his wife and two little kids were out on the course to greet him. And that's what it's all about, having your family and those closest to you. His parents were there. And I guess that's the Spanish American dream. He's a Spaniard who apparently, I did not know this, went to ASU, Arizona State, met his wife at Arizona State, has a lovely wife and two little Q-tip headed kids, and happy as a clam, living the American Spanish dream. He probably has a place in Spain somewhere, but he clearly lives in America now, I guess. And won the tournament. Great weekend. And that's what life's about, is living the American dream. And I don't know how much money he got, but he got a bunch. And there was harmony. There was harmony on the golf course between the two tours. Phil Mickelson came in second place in the Masters. And of course, he's the live guy. He's the one that made everybody leave the PGA Tour. You talk about money, man. Every golfer on the PGA Tour should bow down to Greg Norman and Phil Mickelson, because their purses for the tournaments went double on the PGA Tour when the Live Tour started, and all these guys are making stupid money. But Mickelson and a number of others from the Live Tour came back to the Masters.
Koepka was leading the tournament.
Koepka was in charge right up until Sunday midday. But he tied for second with Phil. So you had two Live golfers making a decent payday on the PGA Tour. That surely made the PGA people unhappy, but it made the Masters people very happy. They didn't have to deal with it, but yet they had two great golfers play some great golf, and they talked about them. Jim Nance, I don't know if he's going off into the sunset or not.
No, I think it was a basketball retirement, right? I think
Yeah, but
yeah.
they talked about him retire. They didn't talk about it during the tournament, but I don't know if he sunsetted out or what. Maybe he's just doing golf. But yeah, he definitely left the NCAA tournament basketball, and I guess he's still doing golf, but he's living his dream. All these people doing what they want to do and having the life they want to have. And our goal at Raskin Global is for you to do the same. So how to position your wealth so that you protect it, you save it, you grow it, and you enjoy it. And then you pass it on. And the magic is if you can enjoy it and pass it on. And that's what we are expert at, showing you how to have it, enjoy it, not be worried about it, and pass it on to those you care about, whether that's family, charity, whatever, the people that in your life that you want to get the money when you're no longer here. Legacy. And to me, legacy is also about while you're here. Too many people think legacy is what money I leave behind. And I can tell you, in 36 years of doing this, it's more about the values you leave behind. If people were given the choice of leaving money or values, more than 80% people we talk to would choose values. They want to leave their family and charity in good stead. They want to leave their kids with great values. They want them to be great people, productive members of society. They're less concerned with how much money they leave them, although generally with us, they leave significant amounts of money as well. Enough for them to survive and thrive and do what they want to do in their lives. But the American dream, that legacy piece, is about showing your heirs how to act, how to be. We talked earlier, how to have that integrity, how to move in your skin in a way that you're fully in alliance with, that you have your values right. And then the money is great. Some people think, well, if I leave them all that money, they'll be spoiled, rotten kids. No, spoiled, rotten kids become spoiled, rotten adults. Great kids become great adults. If you raise good kids, you pass on wealth, you have great kids with wealth. So what? There we are.
I'm just glad that I have friends around me like you that care enough about me to find a patented crab mallet that has a beer opening right here. I don't know whether to frame this, keep this on the set, but at some point I'm going to use it on some crabs.
You got to use it.
And then my set's going to smell like J.O. Spice before it's all over with.
You got to use it. You got to use it. If you don't use it, it's useless.
You know what I'm going to use it for? And this is from Luke and I and the Chad Steele. This is going to be my Chad Steele gavel. I'm going to swing the gavel down and say, this is out of order. This whole court's out of order. How about that?
You can't handle the truth.
You know what? That's the truth. And I said it would have been an Al Pacino moment, like from the Baltimore movie and Justice for All, where I'd say, you're out of order. You're out of order. You're all out of order. That would have been me at the press conference last week. So I guess it's a good idea they threw me out.
Stand up.
But it's not really a good idea they threw me out. Because
stand up, open the window, put your head out, and scream.
I'm as mad as hell.
And I can't take it anymore.
Absolutely. That's a network. I brought that up last week. Brian Cranston with my girl Gigi. Hey, Leonard Raskin can be found at RaskinGlobal.com, not just during tax season here for managing money or thinking money. You got to be thinking about that 53 weeks a year. He's there for you at Raskin Global, also at Baltimore Positive. Hey, rest up. Enjoy yourself out of the Ohio State this week. I know we're on a break next week. We'll see you in 2 weeks, all right?
You got it.
By the time you get back, Odell and Lamar will have him ready for OTAs.
We'll be hugging Harbaugh together.
They'll all be down at draft night signing autographs with the fans in 2 weeks.
Kumbaya.
Oh, that's the word for the offseason. Kumbaya for April. Leonard Raskin, RaskinGlobal.com, handling money and managing the American dream. My American dream's to be in Harford County on Thursday at Pappas, doing the Maryland Crab Cake Tour presented by the Maryland Lottery in conjunction with our friends at Window Nation. I'll be there on Thursday. We're going to be at Captain Larry's in Federal Hill on the 27th. That is 2 weeks from Thursday. Looking forward to that. The Maryland Crab Cake Tour moves on with great crab cakes, great conversations. We made it local last week over Costas. It was awesome. We are WNST, AM 1570 Towson, Baltimore, and we never stop talking Baltimore positive.